that old saying, God giveth and God taketh away. And for me, I've kind of been lived a very minimalist lifestyle last 4 or 5 years, and I get on my high horse. I'm like, well, I don't need anything from this world. And I remember maybe a year ago, the water got shut off for me, so I had to like take a shower in an empty unit, and I was getting all mad. I really only valued like those minimal creature comforts, and it got taken away, and I reacted just so negatively when it shouldn't have been that big of a deal that I had to take one shower in a random apartment here that they gave me a key to that didn't have a curtain and all this stuff, and there was other people in the building or in the apartment. I had to like close the door. It was just a nightmare. I have a 24-hour fitness membership, but didn't want to really drive to have to do this. And today my computer laptop has a really good microphone in it. Guys probably noticed the lower quality microphone now, and I've gotten a lot of compliments over the quality of it. And of course, it shut off today. And it actually really upset me because it's like I just kind of valued that. I love the quality of the sound, and my hearing my voice just sounds so, it sounds exactly how I sound. And I find most microphones, they have some tinny quality, they have something off. It's not quite me 100%. It's not 100% authentic. It's changing my voice ever so slightly. And it was like a big sadness today over that. I was like, I really valued the channel and just having kind of that perfect setup. Now I have to wear a headset that's tethered versus I could just kind of speak into the ether. What get taken away has gotten so small. Before I wanted this, I wanted that, want some consumerist thing. And now I have a tendency to, if I have some like materialist thing I want to buy. Like got some cigars I really didn't need, but I kept thinking about it. I kept looking on the website for when they were getting restocked, and I just bought it, not because I necessarily wanted it. I wanted the mental space available. I didn't want any part of my mind, even on the back burner, something percolating about wanting something. I kind of find debt, consumerist stuff, anything that's kind of money related, I kind of find can weigh on you. I remember my mom, when I paid off my MBA student loan, she kept pushing me to do it, even though that was at the time during COVID where it was stalled. And she's like, just get the weight off your shoulders, like just get it over with. And it's true, there's kind of an element of in this world, I think in the Bible it says something like, don't put your faith in things that where the moths will take over, kind of like things that will just decay. Like there's no value in that. And it is true, but there's also the practical element where we're still human. You need physical things. You have needs, quote unquote, to be met. But as I've gotten older, outside the food, shelter, water, and like safety kind of goes along with that with shelter. Outside of that, you really don't need anything. It's like if you have somewhere to sleep, that you have a lock on your door, and you have hot water, and you have kind of the basics. And here in the US, we're like top 1% of the world. Like the poorest person on the street still, they're at the lower percentage of that 1%, but we're like the top 1%. And when I see images from other countries, it always like freaks me out because you kind of think, oh, my life, things aren't going right. And then you see like how other people are living. I still remember when this group called Share Tanzania, it's like they help autistic children in Tanzania and other parts of Africa. And they showed an image in the promo of like a child with like a chain, like a slavery era sort of like chain on his ankle. And he was being kept in like a shed out in the back. And just from the body language, I literally like grabbed my own mouth, like gasped at like kind of the like terribleness of it. I couldn't believe it. It was like super shocking to me because it was like just the way he was moving kind of reminded me of my own son. And it was kind of like to think like how happy my son is. I remember one time I was walking with him and some lady in the parking lot, like, oh, your son is just so happy because he was just skipping, holding my hand. He's probably like 3 or 4 years old and just like so happy, especially special needs children. Sometimes they could just have this beaming happiness. And so for me to see that child like chained up and like body language wasn't completely unhappy, it was just trying to be happy in such a bad situation, just kind of shocked me. And you kind of forget that, not that it makes our lives that much easier. I always tell my brother kind of these stories, and he's always like, well, it doesn't make my life any better to know that like my life's better than these other people. Like, we don't, there's people that really have been through hell. Like, that's like hell on earth. Like an autistic child that can't speak, that's like nonverbal, that's essentially just been abused their whole life. I remember that shocked me so much too. I even wrote on their YouTube channel, like, yeah, if like somehow my son ever passes away, I'm moving out there and and helping because it's like it's just so ridiculous to me that people would be so cruel. But that's the thing, there's stuff like that all over the world. There's like those stories. They're everywhere. Even in the US, there's stories like this. You hear stuff on the news. We have areas of the country that like stuff like this happens. It's like it's like weird, like the human condition. We have like some of the best, some of the worst. It's like as above, so below. It's like we have like the best humans can offer and like the worst. It's just kind of crazy. So it's kind of funny when I see my quote unquote little needs. And it's like even right now using this headset, kind of like these moments where like think all is lost and there's some little workaround. And I just gonna realize in life you could just keep spending money to try to make your life perfect. I remember I saw this article when I was having my son when he was a little baby, and they were saying like often parents like it's so hard to raise a newborn, but you're trying to like buy your way out of the hardness. But no matter what contraptions you buy, you still have to do the work. And a lot of parents are just trying to make things easier and easier by buying all this stuff. Sometimes it can help. I mean, there's like a point of diminishing returns. And I think a lot of parents, I think a lot of people in life, we kind of like buy beyond that point of diminishing returns. Like obviously, like if you have a child and you don't have a car, how are you going to take them to the doctor? It's going to be a big nightmare. So there's sorts of things you can do to really make your life easier, but then people will just keep spending. And I can kind of see the wisdom when you see those kind of like monks or nuns where they live in a tiny little room, no TV. All they do all day is like do the chores of like sweeping and cooking, and all they do is kind of a spiritual practice. It's, that's always attracted me on some level because of the simplicity of it. Even as a young child, I kind of like just to not have all this stuff going on. And then now that I've gotten older, now I see all the politics. I've heard stories, even the Buddhist monasteries too, where it's like all these politics some come into play. Someone's not sweeping enough. It's just like work, like things happen and then there's money involved and then there's scandals. It's like it's I kind of look at like you have to kind of make your own monastery in a way in your own home. Like you're part of the world and you go out and then you come back and you use your own home as that monastery. And it's you could be in the world in a way, but not in the world. I just remember too, like I have this toothpaste now they don't make it anymore. Like these little things it's funny, like I don't have many attachments, but these little things that I am attached to, I have some left, but it's like now that I have so little I want, I kind of it's almost worse. I kind of cling more to the things I like now. Since I like so little, I cling too hard to the little things. Like, oh no, my toothpaste. Oh no. Like I don't have much I even want in the world, but like these little things bother me. Like even right now, it's really bothering me about the microphone. It's like, ah, like I have to wear this thing now. Like I was thinking am, I can't really buy a new computer just to get a new microphone. The computer's perfectly fine outside the microphone. And it's like I don't really want to spend 500 plus dollars, probably more towards 700 on something just for this channel that produces nothing. So that's the thing about living in the monastery for me. It's kind of like there's an austerity I have with myself where I kind of came up with the rule like I only buy what I need, not what I want. And that's really because there's guilt associated. Even those cigars I bought, there's like a little bit of guilt. I shouldn't have bought them. They're not real. They're not truly necessary. And there's like a karma of money where it's like if you try to hoard it, it's like energy. It doesn't get spent. It kind of gets, it actually gets sick. It's like holding on to too much. It's like not taking a poop or something. Like you're holding on to this stuff that needs to be expelled. So it's kind of like I try to like help with my money as much as I can, even with my ex-wife, where I'm throwing away a lot of money on child support. It's kind of like once I made peace with throwing the money away, like I kind of had more abundance in a way. Like the universe took more care of me. Even the things I gave given up, like with poker, I was supposed to go on the Saturday play poker, and it was like didn't obviously. I've it's something I've done for 20 years, and now it's gone. And that's the other thing about the monastery. I find like you have to. It's not just idle talk or idle money spending. It's also like kind of the idle activities, like the hobbies can just be a waste of time. And I was really happy for a minute. Like I was watching a UFC fight with my brother. And at first I was like all happy, like, oh, I don't have to like miss the fight over there. But then there was like a sadness when I clicked the link just to see if I could still see what was going on. But I'd asked them to be removed from the Evite. So when I clicked it, it was like, you're no longer on the list. And I'd been asked to be removed, right? But it still had this like sadness. I felt like, oh, I'm like all these people I'm not going to see again. And I didn't make a big show about leaving because kind of in the poker world, I don't really didn't really make any like true friends from it outside of maybe one that lives out of state. Like I don't actually, people are kind of more just, you're just activity partners. So, but it's kind of like, you're out of the social group in a way. And I remember one of the group leaders was talking to me like, oh, you could, not to lose the camaraderie, you could still deal, dealers make $400 a night or something like that. And I told him like, yeah, maybe, I'm never playing poker again, but maybe I'll deal, it's kind of like home game kind of stuff to deal. I still don't really want to do that, but it's nice to have a backup plan if like I need to make I always tell myself with jobs, it's like there's like the McDonald job kind of thing. There's certain jobs I would only take if I'm like one step from homelessness. Like there's certain jobs I would only take under extreme duress and you only take them for the minimum time. And kind of dealing cards is like the worst job for me. I've done it actually for corporate parties before and I've always kind of hated it because I'm kind of ADHD type. Like I can, when I'm focused, I'm doing well, but I'll kind of miss the obvious sometimes. And I've seen other dealers do it too. You kind of miss the obvious, or you do something dumb. People's money's on the line, so people can get upset quickly and rightfully so. It's kind of like my line of work. It's like if you're doing things perfect, you hear nothing, but the moment you make a mistake, it's a giant uproar. So it's like that's kind of my nightmare. Hopefully, it's not my karma to have to be a dealer. So I'm really trying to avoid that. Joseph Goldstein, one of Ram Dass's Buddhist friends used to say, and this helped me when I broke a toe and I had to walk on it. It was a pinky toe, so you can't really do that much for it. And I had to walk like 20 blocks 5 days a week or more for work. And he had something about like the pain actually becomes the meditation. Every time you feel that pain, you start meditating wherever you are. You just start, and it actually helped me get through the pain. And ever since then, I think my pain tolerance has gone way up because now I use the pain as like the fulcrum of my practice. I found that term online, like by fulcrum, it's like a seesaw, where like there's a triangular block and there's a board and like you can balance, two people can seesaw on the seesaw because of the weight. And so it's like you use that immovable, painful thing as a way to balance. It's a way to do your practice using the fulcrum. And I kind of find like things that upset you, pain, anger, all the negative emotions you feel, you can start using it as that fulcrum. I think I read some quote that said like the rich can be better than the poor sometimes because the poor can be so greedy for the money that they have almost worse values than the rich. They're willing to screw each other over. So kind of like the middle path is the correct of like you don't care about the money. in a way that you're not willing to screw someone else over to get the money. And it's like for many years, I remember I was like just so tired of like never having any money. My focus was more on getting comfortable than anything else. Not that I was a bad person, not that I still wasn't necessarily willing to screw anyone over, but had this like kind of money focus because I was just so broke all the time. Now it's kind of like, I think I went through, I think all people do it. I remember even my ex-wife, I remember when she first had some money being a nurse practitioner, my ex-wife, and she like they shut off her car because she was going crazy buying furniture all at once. Like it's unusual someone would spend that much. Thought it was fraud, and it was funny because I thought I was so crazy at the time. But I kind of went through that myself, where it was like when I finally had some money, I started buying too many books, buying too many cigars, buying too many things. Because like for once, you didn't have to restrict yourself. So I can kind of get that where like you go through that, and then you get to a point where it's like enough is enough. Like you don't have to keep like you don't need the things aren't going to save you anyways. I think one of the guys that follow talks about that. Like he bought Jordans like as a 40-year-old man. Like he was buying like video all the stuff that he couldn't buy for himself as a kid because he could finally buy it now because he had some money. And then it was like he didn't even use the stuff. In a way, it's messed up to say, but I'm like, it'll be a relief to die in a way because like the physical pain that I have to go through from the foot is like it's not like so much that I can't bear it, but it's enough that it'd be like, oh, it'll be a relief just not to have to feel this pain anymore. Being like, it's like I'm not the type I don't like taking like drugs or uh like narcotic kind of stuff. Like I don't like the numb my body with stuff. So it's like because it just comes back worse, but it's like in a weird way, it's kind of like, yeah, to pass from this life, it's like, oh, I don't have to feel these pains. I don't have to get sick. I don't have to, there'll be, if there's nothing on the other side, great. And if there's a reincarnation, at least I get to start with a fresh body. It's like Joey Diaz on the Rogan show was saying, like, I don't trust anyone that doesn't have something that they do. Like they drink a little, they get to have something to get through this life. And for many years, I didn't have anything really. And cigars for me, it's more of like a break in case of an emergency thing where it's like it's nice to know if things ever get really hard. I think I had a phrase like if life gets too hard, have a cigar kind of thing. It's something to kind of like take the edge off. And I kind of find myself now more I smoke socially, like I kind of get like why people drink socially. It kind of makes the conversation better. It's kind of like a augmentation. It can, especially when I smoke, I only have like maybe three friends that smoke cigars and think all three of them are out of state. So I think the universe is kind of like you're not allowed to smoke that much, with people. Because I don't really like smoking by myself so much anymore. But